In a world under an invisible dome, where right seems wrong and wrong seems right, it's easy to get lost in the matrix. This is Illuminated Mind with Aries Child. How is your energy looking?
What's up, folks? You know who it is. It's your boy Aries Child, and you tuned in to Illuminated Mind. We do this every Thursday, and I gotta admit, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you guys coming back every week, checking out to see what I gotta say, see who I may have on, and you know, and the comments that you guys are leaving is amazing. And I appreciate it. And it's because of you guys that I continue to do this every week. And I, again, thank you guys for allowing me to come into your space and speak my mind and, you know, get it off my chest. And also, you know, hopefully to enlighten a few of you on some things that, you know, you may not be aware of or into. Before we get the show started, I want you to remember that you can call in at any time and leave me a message personally at 407-476-9059. That is the number here at the station. You call in, follow the prompts, and that message will get to me. So tonight, I know you guys have been hearing it all week or, you know, for the last month or so, that I have the October specials lined up for you guys. And this is the show that's about to kick it off. Tonight, we are going to be invoking, I guess you can say, the spirit of October, which is the spirit of Halloween. And tonight we will be discussing monsters. All right. So I would like to introduce my guest for the evening. And we're gonna start off. We're gonna bring in the voice of the radio station. We're gonna bring in the man that you guys hear over and over and over all day on the radio station. This guy's telling you about the new music. He's telling you about every show. He's telling you about any contest. This man right here is the man that you all are probably want. You hear this guy more than you hear any other artist. So let me bring him in right now. What's going on, Rizo?
What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing?
What's going on, Rizo? Look at the man. Look at the man.
How we doing? GKI Radio.
So Rizo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's October, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's October, and you got kids.
Yes.
So, are you going out for the Halloween trick or treat thing this year?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We don't know what we're gonna dress little mama up as. Got some ideas in the air, but not really sure what we're gonna lock in on yet. I know she wants to be some Disney character or something, of course.
They always want to be a Disney character.
Yeah. So So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens, man. You know, we're gonna wait probably because she changes her mind every other day. So
right,
you know, we're gonna lock in and when to get a little closer to Halloween, and we'll go out there.
So let me ask you, with the trick or treat thing going on. I mean, I know you're gonna, you know, some kids and some parents are gonna be behind masks, but right. Are you concerned about the COVID?
Personally, no, I'm not really concerned too much. You know what I mean? I'm really not concerned too much. You know, we're gonna be safe, of course, not gonna be in anybody's face and all that, but we'll be outside. So I feel if we're outside, and it'll be a lot safer, you know.
So we're gonna go into the next guest, and we're gonna bring him in. And this man right here is a producer and also a close friend of mine. And this man is very opinionated, which is why I wanted him on this show. I want someone who's gonna come on here and who's not gonna back what I say just because it's my show, and someone who is gonna say what everybody else may be afraid to say. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna bring in my man G. What up, G?
What's up, man? What's up? What up? What's going on, everybody?
So, good. All right.
G, Rizo G. Y'all
What's
know
up, bro?
me.
What's up? All right.
What's up, man?
All right.
So before we go any further, I do want to let the audience know that if you want to get a little bit more personal with this particular episode, you can go over to YouTube, and it will eventually be streaming over there. Again, that is a new platform that we are picking up, and we're trying to kick off and get off on its foot. So My bad, G. I just want to let the audience know that because
No, you're good.
I like to keep them informed. So G, it's October, baby. Are you first of all, before I even ask you, are you one of those people who I'm not gonna necessarily say indulge in the spirit of Halloween, but you do participate, or are you one of those people that I don't do Halloween? You know, you too cool for school. I mean, how where you stand on the whole Halloween issue?
Um, Halloween was always a very touchy subject for me in my household growing up. I grew up in a very religious household, so Halloween, in a sense, was frowned upon. Um, so unfortunately, growing up, I never did it. I never dressed up. I never went out trick or treating with the boys. None of that. And then growing up, I kind of just fell out of it. You know, as I started to grow, I started to notice that women use it as an excuse to dress as slutty as possible. And me
Hey,
personally, I was like,
hey, hey,
it's
wait. Don't knock the hustle, kid.
no, I ain't
Go
knocking
ahead.
the hustle. I'm just saying, it's like to me, it wasn't my scene. Honestly, it was never really my scene. So, I never really, talk down people that did it. I never do to this day. I never will. What you do is what you do. It's just me personally. I never have. It's a topic my wife brought up a couple times, and it's something I guess not really my
It's
thing.
it's it's not, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, gravitate to what they gravitate to and do what they do. So you know what I'm saying? I like the fact that you did say that, you know what I'm saying, even though it's not your thing, you don't frown upon or diss people that do spend a lot of money for a Halloween party or who do take their
Hmm.
kids out trick-or-treating, and I respect that. I respect that. So we're gonna keep this moving. We're gonna keep this moving because we got a lot that we're gonna talk about and discuss tonight. So I want to bring in the third guest, and it seems like she will be the last, even though there was supposed to be one more. You all know this. You all know this lady. She's been with GKI Radio since it started, and she comes to you every Monday night, and her show. I mean, I don't want to harp on somebody else's show real quick, but this woman, her show has evolved so much, and she's got great wisdom. So let me bring her out real quick. Everybody, you already should know her, Miss Bronze Beauty. Where you at? Yo, there she go. There
Yeah.
she go.
Hey.
Look, look, the host is always doing the most, boo.
Always doing the most. That's what she say. So Bronze, we are invoking the spirit of the October Halloween um whole shebang. And I want to ask you, I want to, what I'm saying, because everybody know you, there's no need for introduction. So I want to ask you, when it comes to Halloween, have you, I mean, I know every Halloween, everybody don't, get out and bust a move and, do something. So on a average, are you the type of person to get up and go out and go to a Halloween party, or go out and do something on Halloween, or are you more the type to stay home and pass out candy?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Really, I'm not a person that celebrates Halloween because,
Okay.
again, I have this thing, especially with the mask going on. It's not a safe event for children anymore. So we actually have in our neighborhood trunk or treat. So I'm more for trunk or treat. I'm more for donating the candy and making sure the children have a good time in one particular spot. I do not want to ever do, if I had smaller children, to do the door to door. It's just not safe anymore. And with everything going on, these people behind the mask are not who they really are these days. So I would say condone more to trunk or treat versus house to house. It's not my thing.
Okay. Can for my listeners and myself who may not know about trunk or treat, what is trunk or treat?
Trunk or treat is at the same thing on Halloween night. Everyone gets together and donate candy in the community, and then they open up the trunks of their car. They all go to the community house down here, and they just open up their trunks, and it's just a whole bunch of candies. And the children go to the trunk of a car.
Oh,
So then you,
that sounds like some COVID age Halloween trick or treating.
oh, I've been here in my house for about 3 years, and they've been doing trunk or treat since I got here. And I like it because it's much safer. Because then you know where the candy's coming from. Then you know that it's safer and who it's coming from, and you're not going from door to door wondering if anything has happened to the candy. So to me, I definitely would say that's a safer method of going versus house to house. I don't believe in the house to house.
Okay. You said something that I want to capitalize on for this particular show. And you said that when it comes to trick or treating, you don't know who's behind the mask. And tonight's episode is about monsters. So when we come back from this commercial break, we're gonna jump into this with the. I got the first question for you guys, and I want you guys to really let it out, because I know for some people, Halloween, regardless of what age you are, Halloween is a scary day, a scary night for some people. Like some people really get traumatized behind Halloween. But we're gonna get into that as soon as we come back from this commercial break. I want you guys to remember that you can call up here right now at 407-476-9059. And you may get your question played right here on the radio tonight. We're gonna be right back. Don't go nowhere. Stick around.
Well, in the dark, so I lost all my friends, and in the end, all I had was you.
You on that white horse, I'm not Cinderella. You're not my Prince Charming. There is no forever, ever.
Welcome back. This is still Illuminated Mind. I'm still your host, Aries Child, and we've got a great panel that ain't even got started yet. So I'm glad you folks stuck around because they're about to get off their chest some things that you may need to hear. So we're gonna bring everybody in right now, and we're gonna get started. And the first question that I'm gonna ask, I want to know is, do you think? And I'm asking this of my man Rizo and Miss Bronze Beauty, because you two have been in the film industry. So I want to know, do you think there is any truth behind any of these monster movies? Regardless which one that you pick, each being different from each other, do you think that there is any truth behind these monster flicks made in Hollywood? I am going to start with you, though, G.
Oh, dang. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
Do I think there's any truth behind the horror movies being made? No, honestly. I feel that my views on horror movies in the sense is I see it as, something that someone is interested in, someone is like someone like this is something someone's in a sense, like vision for something, whether it be like just a story to tell or just to capture the audience in a different light. But me personally, I don't think of it as being anything real. Like oh, it's based on a true story. No, only because it's Hollywood. A lot of movies are made for the audience, for them to, to pretty much get a reaction from them. So I feel that it can be something similar, maybe, but twisted to, I guess, spook
Twisted to become entertainment.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got you. So, Bron, you've had many acting parts in many different type of films. Do you think that there's any truth behind any of these Hollywood monster films?
No, I don't. And actually, since you mentioned that, I was recently casted for something like The Exorcism. I didn't do it. I'm gonna tell you exactly why I turned it down. I'm sure everybody's very disappointed at me. I was supposed to be the bishop, but they wanted me to do a chant. And I'm sorry, my spirit wasn't setting in with that. That's just wasn't my thing. My thing was to cast the spirit out of the girl. I just couldn't do that because it just didn't. Not only did it not seem real, it just didn't seem right to me. I wasn't doing it.
So is it that it didn't seem real, or is it that you were maybe worried that the chant was a real incantation?
Correct. It just felt demonic to me. Not just because it's October. It just felt very demonic to me. While I'm sitting up there trying to figure out how to do a chant, I didn't know if I was gonna walk away with a spirit on me. So that just
Right,
ain't my thing.
right.
Sci-fi is not really my thing. Maybe I'm a little religious on that, but it's not my thing.
Of course, of course. Renzo.
Yes, yes, yes. What's crazy is like one of my first films ever was it was a horror movie, The Mule or whatever. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I gotta kind of disagree. Like I believe that some of that stuff absolutely uh could be real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like the movie itself, of course not, but I think some of that stuff, like you just said, The Exorcist. I remember as a kid watching that and like really believing, like, oh my God, it used to freak me out, that movie. You know what I mean? As a little kid. So, um,
Exactly.
so yeah, so I think like some of it, I don't know exactly who does all the horror movies. I guess it depends on which director or whatever, but I think that maybe, I believe in the spiritual world. You know what I mean? I believe that it's real. So, um, I think it could possibly definitely be real, especially Exorcist, man. Freddy Krueger and all that's freaky stuff right there. So, yeah.
I
Now,
mean,
I'm just gonna say
this is
real or
my
not. I
thing.
just can't deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. Because I don't think I was gonna do that one either. Because that one was crazy. That Exorcist was crazy. That
I don't
scared
care
me
if I have
as
somebody sleeping by myself. That's
Yeah,
just not my thing.
yeah, for sure. I hear you. I hear you on that. Yeah.
Okay, but when you hear all of these stories, and we're gonna tread lightly on this because each one of us are in the entertainment industry some way, in some form or another. So we're gonna tread real lightly on this. But when you hear all of these stories, these rumors, these conspiracy theories about the things that go on in Hollywood, is it that far fetched to think that they would not be so bold as to place it into their films? Anybody?
If something spiritual happened while filming, that what
Yeah.
you saying?
No, I'm saying like,
Uh,
like you hear about all these monsters that are in Hollywood that are at the top level. You know what I'm saying? These
mm,
aren't the people that are coming up with ideas. These are the people that are funding these ideas. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And these are the monsters. These are the people that are preying on people. These are the ones that are damn near mind controlling people. You know what I'm saying? Because they mold minds. You know what I'm saying? If you are a weak person and you are constantly watching TV, that molds your mind. If you are young and impressionable and you're watching TV every day, that molds your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you just are a lost person and you watching a certain show year after year, that's gonna mold your impression.
facts,
You know,
facts.
so
True.
so do you think that they would not put this in their film? Like, and I'm gonna be specific. Like let's take Will Smith. Independence Day. You know what I'm saying? They were basically talking about all this technology that we have in Area 51. Well, Area 51 does exist.
Yeah, I've always believed that Hollywood prepares everybody for what's about to happen. I've always
Exactly. I
thought
mean,
that. You know what
Will Smith again. Will Smith again. Is it I Am Legend where he was stuck in a town by himself and a dog? Well, what movie was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am
I'm
Legend.
Legend.
I think. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yo. Yo.
And that was
Yeah.
based on a pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. I think they preparing everybody for what's gonna happen. I've always thought that too. You know.
Yeah. I've always thought they do that, but they try to sugarcoat it in a sense for us to
Facts.
look at it as just simple entertainment versus
Yeah,
what can actually happen.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, for a long time, I am a Living Dead fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm talking about the whole movie from the black and white eras to the TV show. You know, and that shit was always, oh, that'll never happen. That'll never happen. And then just last year, the CDC puts out a safety strategy guideline in case there's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, it's true. Hollywood is slick, real slick.
Yeah, they just
Exactly.
figured out ways to throw things at you that we're not going to believe because we're looking at it as, oh, it's just entertainment. It ain't real.
But what
Right.
about the one? Was it the bird song? What was the one about the bird and they were wearing the mask?
Bird
It
Box.
was Sandra Bullock. Yeah.
Sandra Bullock. And then every time I think about the fact that now we're in the era of wearing the mask, that movie always reflects back on my memory.
Yeah.
That's what
Mhm.
they were wearing masks. And now
Yep.
this is actually what we're going through now. So I will agree with you. Hollywood does kind of prepare us for what's going to happen. Now I hope they're not preparing us for what's going to happen with Friday 13th because that's too many times, Jason. I don't want to go through all that. I can't. I don't. I don't want to get. I don't want to prepare for that. But Jason
Yeah.
had too many movies now,
Yeah. Jason got to
Oh
go
my
sit down.
God.
Yeah, Jason got to go sit down.
But
and
For sure.
and
Yeah.
but then
Jason
again,
has on a mask. He got the mask
Hey,
on. We don't know what's going to happen
yeah,
this Friday 13th. God know. I mean, this Halloween.
oh Lord.
uh,
But see, that's what
uh,
I'm saying. It's just in the pure entertainment,
yeah,
just to pretty much entertain the guests, to put them in a mindset that they shouldn't be.
yeah,
Or they putting us in the mindset that's happening. All of a sudden, this stuff is happening.
yeah.
So he going
True.
back to
Okay,
what he said.
Felix.
Is it real?
Yeah.
G, let me ask you. Let
What's
me
up?
ask you if like you said they're preparing us, getting us into a mind state of which you know what I'm saying that they want. So what happens when the mind control works and people are believing something that is fictional,
They get what they want.
which
Pure control.
is pure
Pure control.
control.
Yeah.
That makes
Like
sense.
I hate to
That makes
go
sense.
at it direct, but it's pure control. If you think about it, how many times have they come out with a new horror movie of the same character? Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers, all the same characters are brought back over and over and over again for what? Put you in fear. For what? To control you. That's all it is. Because if you think about it, every movie is the same. From the first one to now that they keep remaking, they're all the same. Same concept, nothing changes. One person is trying to, capture, kill, whatever, a certain group of people, and they all have the same background. But yet everyone is still trapped into going to watch it every single year.
And it never changes.
It never changes. It's the
And
same thing. It's
and
all pure control. Put you in fear
yeah.
so that way they control what you do.
So Renzo and Bronze, I'm gonna ask you. I'll take a quick commercial break, but I'm gonna ask you too. If you were offered a role in a horror film, who would like to present you with the script, and what type of role would you want to be in that horror film? Bronze, I'm gonna let you go second.
Oh man, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. A horror movie. What's his name? Was it Wes Cravens? Is that who it is? That producer?
Yeah, that was Freddy Krueger.
That's the dude that Freddy Krueger, right? Something
Yep.
wild like that would be cool, I guess. Something wild. As long as I gotta do no chant, like Braun said. As long as I do no chant, I'm good with it.
But what role would you like? Would you like to be Freddy? Would you like to be the token black dude? Would you like to be the one that killed Freddy for that episode? I mean, what role would you? Okay, Wes Craven coming at you with a script. What would you hope to be? What would you hope to be?
Man, give me Freddy, man. Let me scare some people. Yeah, give me Freddy.
You go with the monster.
Yeah, let me go. Entertainment purposes.
Now, I want you all to remember that he said that he chose the monster because we're gonna come back to this on a different question. Brian,
I might not.
Look at you want to change it.
I probably shouldn't have said that. All right.
Brian, where you at? Who came with the script?
It don't matter who come with the script. I'm gonna be the woman in the diner because I done already told you I'm scared to sleep by myself. I'm not gonna be the person that want to get killed. I don't want to be the person that's gonna be killing. I'm scared. I'm really scared of horror movies. I'm scared of the boogeyman. So just let me be the woman in the boogeyman. Just let me be the woman that's in the diner. I don't want to be the killer. I don't want to be the person to get killed.
Gee, when's the last time you heard the boogeyman?
Jeez. Oh my gosh, the boogeyman. Let's take it back what? 20 years,
Yeah.
maybe?
The boogeyman.
The
Jeez, the
boogeyman.
Hey,
boogeyman.
the boogeyman was real. The boogeyman scared me many nights, but we're gonna talk about that later in the show. Right now, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we're gonna be right back. So don't go nowhere. Go ahead and go get your drink, go get your food, get what you got to get real quick. It's only gonna be a few minutes, and we're gonna be right back. All right, we back, and what we gonna do right here is we're gonna keep this thing going. We got Renzo in the house, we got Bronze Beauty in the house, and we got G still in the house. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right into this and keep this thing going. But first, before I do, let me give a shout out to my Canadian listeners. I do this often because you guys have the strongest listening faction that comes to this show, and I would like you to know every week that I do appreciate y'all. So go to the question, and the question is, monsters inside of us. Do we all understand what I'm saying? The monster within.
Mhm.
This is that negative force. This is that darkness within each of us that most people try to keep as low as possible, but sometimes it comes out. So I want to ask you, what do you think creates this monster within, but what do you think is the creating factors to where this monster is released? Because you got to understand, if all four of us on this panel right now has this monster inside of us, and all four of us have not released that monster, but yet someone that's not on this panel has, it's to say that some people can control it a little bit better, and for that monster to be released, there's got to be certain conditions. What do you think are some of the conditions that drive people into that insanity or craziness?
I'd like to go first because I
Okay,
speak a lot about
go
health.
ahead, Ron.
Our biggest monster is definitely worry. Okay. And I think what has brought on my monster of worry is definitely been stress, anxiety. They all play a key factor. We have a lot of things that's going on and we take on a little bit too much. And like when you combine stress, worry, it becomes into depression. You got a whole lot of mess. And that's, for me, that is my biggest monster, is worry.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Anybody want to jump in next?
Yeah, I totally agree with what she just said. That's also I think environment, brings out a monster. How you were raised and the people that you keep around you, the company you keep around you. So it's always good to keep the positivity around you good. So
You're right
that's
about
what I would
that.
say. Yeah.
What about you, G?
Me, when it comes to monsters and deletion, I see it more as trauma. We all go through something
Ah,
growing up, whether it's big or small. Trauma's trauma, no matter how you look at
yes.
it. And I feel that trauma right there is one of the big things that really have us to create a monster, where we go dark, we go cold, um, and we try our best to keep it inside. But, unfortunately, trauma is something that's very hard to avoid when no one knows it.
Right. Right. Well, for me, I would have to say losing faith within myself, because as long as I'm believing in myself that I'm doing the right thing to do better or to help people, or if as long as I'm sending out a positive vibe and energy that's lifting other people, I think I'm okay. But when I start losing faith in myself, or understanding within myself, that's when things get fucked up, because once you lose understanding of yourself, it's real easy for things to get distorted. And that's distortion and confusion can lead you, what I'm saying, into that dark place, which gives that dark place the power and the energy. It gives you the power and energy. But I want to take on this trauma. I want to take on this trauma thing that you said. And they say hurt people. Is that the saying? It's something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah. So this trauma. So people who experience trauma, they tend to fall sway to the dark side. And I guess the question that I would like to ask is how do you conquer the trauma that is a past life trauma? Something that happened, and this is just me, someone who has never went through any real trauma. So I mean, don't take what I'm saying as ignorant or being above anybody, because I have not experienced any real major trauma. But for me, it would be if something happened 5 years ago. Why have you not gotten over the trauma within the 5 years? Can anybody help on that? Go ahead, Bronze. Go ahead, please.
I'm glad that G mentioned trauma because this is the honest to God truth. I fear Halloween every year because of something that happened to me when I was about 5 or 6. My brother-in-law came to the house. He was drunk, assuming that he began to curse my sister out and told her that he felt like he was cheating with her. And he had a wine bottle in his hand. On the night of Halloween, he took the bottle and he slammed it across my sister's head. There is blood everywhere. And she just grabs her head and this was Halloween night. She took off running. There's blood all over the house. There's blood all over the table. She runs from the house to my other sister's house. I'll never forget this on Halloween night. So believe it or not, I'm 50 and we're talking at age 5 or 6. This is what happened to me. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't talk about it. But when Halloween comes around, that trauma of what he did to my sister on Halloween night during they killed her, I think about that night all the time. And you're talking what, 45 years ago. So when Halloween comes around, that trauma of what happened then still comes about. It's not a day I look forward to. So that was my trauma. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. To go back on what you said, things like that are very hard to get over. Ideally, when trauma happens, depending on the trauma, everyone's different. I was going to use an example of a simple breakup. A lot of times when we break up from a relationship, whether it's a friendship or an actual relationship with somebody, we go through trauma ourselves. Sometimes it ends pretty, sometimes it ends ugly, but it's trauma nonetheless that we have to deal with and overcome in time. Everyone is different. Some people get over things a lot easier than others. Bronze, in your case, that is a trauma that you had at a very young age. So it's not easy for you to just get over it and be like, all right, it happened. I'm moving on. I'm older now. No, it's something that you were, in a sense, scarred for the rest of your life. In a sense where one day out of the year, you're pretty much, in a sense, being honest, petrified of. Because you're worried, like, is it going to happen again? Can it happen again? How do I let this go? How do I move forward from it? And it's traumas like that in a sense, keep a monster, or that can bring out a monster again. Because, yeah, she may be older now, but the fact that it happened so long ago, she might snap one day on him if he's still around and just go berserk. So it's like, yeah, she has it bottled up for now, where this day right now is haunting her. But that trauma might come up one day where she's like, I've had it. And she just snaps. And that monster that she's had inside the entire time that she probably doesn't even know about just comes out.
Good point. Very good point. Very, very good point. Everybody out there, I want to give you this number one more time, 407-476-9059. Call that number, ask any question. You will get an answer. You will get a response. If not directly back, you will hear it on this show eventually. Rizo, what do you think, man?
Trauma, man. That's oof. Well, I think we all have trauma, whether it's small or big. And if you don't have it now, I'm sure in life you will. I definitely have trauma. All trauma is not created equal. I have trauma every week when I watch my team lose, but that's different compared to, compared to, compared to a death or compared to something that, Miss Bronze went through, you know what I mean? My trauma personally, my biggest trauma is the loss of my son, my firstborn. So that's something I will live with, for the remainder of my life, you know what I mean? So, you learn to deal with it, and you just think about the positive things, think about the good times. That's the best way that I handle it, you know what I mean? So, but sometimes, you go through a funk, you know what I mean? When it's something horrible like that, like what she goes through every year, you know what I mean? So you gotta just try thinking of positive things, you know what I mean, and just try to move forward. That's my best advice. That's how I deal with it. Yeah.
That's some good advice. That's some good advice. And you all, I mean, again, I don't be wanting to come off, arrogant or sounding ignorant, but for me, my biggest trauma in my life was, losing my dad at a young age before I even knew him. So I basically still never knew my dad, whether he was here or not. And for me, that was the biggest trauma that I've had. And I'm not gonna lie, that fucked me up. I mean, it made my relationship with women very fucked up because I had resentment towards my mom. I didn't really know how to be, a family man, let alone be a dad. And I had my first child very young. So, it took time for me to get over that. No, it took more than 5 years, but the fact is that I got over it. It came to a point to where, but then again, can I even compare that trauma to Bronze's trauma? Can I compare my trauma to Renzo's trauma? Can you decipher any of the trauma from any different trauma? That would be the question, I guess. But
No.
we okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm in the concussion, but no, every trauma is different. Everyone sees it different. Renzo's trauma, your trauma, Bron's trauma. We all may see it differently. Bronze went through one at a young age. Renzo probably went through one at a young age. You as well, but at different times in your life. And again, Renzo is something he deals with every day. Bronze is once a year. And it took you 5 years to kind of, in a sense, overcome it. So everyone's different. If you were to sit there and switch your trauma to everybody else, everybody might deal with it different. It might take different time for them to overcome that trauma. I don't see trauma big or small. I see trauma as trauma because everyone deals with it differently. And, I can't sit there and say that, oh, yours is fine, get over it, you'll be okay, or anything like that, because it's not something I'm going through. If we're friends and you tell me about your trauma, I have to be the friend to be like, just be supportive as best as I can without sounding like, in a sense, like a dick, pretty much making it seem like yours is nothing.
Right. All right. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break is what we're gonna do right here. Because we're about to hit a topic that is a real topic. It is something that had really happened, and everybody is going to be touched by what it's going to be. But we're talking about monsters, so we're going to talk about it. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Illuminated Mind, Aries Child. We got Renzo, Bronze Beauty, and G in the house. Don't move. All right. Thank you all for sticking around. We are back. This is still Illuminated Aries Child. That number is still the same, 407-476-9059. Call that number, get through, say what you got to say, and get a response. We still got the panel in the house. We got G, we got Renzo, we got Bronze Beauty, and we've been talking about monsters from all type of from the movies, from trauma, the monsters within. But now we're about to talk about a real monster, a real life monster. This isn't going to be Hollywood. This isn't going to be media made up. This is going to be a real live monster. So everybody, come on back in here and let's get this going. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? There y'all go.
We're here.
There y'all go. Okay, so I'm gonna give the backstory, and then then I want everyone to chime in on what the real is. Here we go. So this is real life. So this guy who is an illegal alien immigrant. I don't know the correct terms. Please don't cancel me for that. But he's here illegally, and he got busted. And this was right before COVID, so that would have been 2018. No, it was 2019. All right, so he got busted. They were threatening to deport him back to Mexico. Whatever reasons he didn't get deported. Okay, so let's just say 2 months ago, we find out that this guy who is here illegally has been molesting his daughter since she was around the age of 6 or 7. And oh wait, he has been molesting his daughter as well as his niece, who is a little bit older than the daughter. It started when she was 6 or 7. She's now in her teens now. Okay. And they're just now finding out. And they have him in custody with a confession of doing these things. They have a picture that they got off of his phone of the man on his rooftop looking into the skylight, taking pictures of the niece naked in the bathroom. With all of these facts, I'm going to start with you, Rizo, because I really wanted to do another show with you on this topic, but you are a hard man to get on the panel, so we're going to bring it right here on the Monsters. I know that you are a dad, and I know that you have a daughter, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
And she's still young.
5 years old.
5 years old. Okay.
Yes, sir.
As a dad, hearing of another dad, because this wasn't the neighbor's kid that he was doing this to. This was his own child. So as a dad, hearing about what another dad has done in this sense, in this matter, how does that make you feel on the inside?
Oh man, you would probably have to censor what I'm thinking right now. Like personally, like there's nothing on planet Earth that's worse than a child molester. Like I would sit down literally and have dinner with a serial killer before I would do that with a child molester. There's nothing worse. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
When I hear that, it's just like it makes my blood boil. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, it pisses me off. You know what I mean? That a grown man could even look at a child in that kind of way or do that and ruin that child's life like that is inexcusable. You know what I mean? So
yes.
Yeah.
But and I mean it. I'll come back to that because I don't want to get off track of where I want to go with this right here. G, I know for a fact you got a baby, son. You got a new you got a new one.
Got a new one. Yeah, he's a toddler. You know, he's young. You know, he'll be 2 soon. As a father hearing that, I'm with Renzo. It's hard to kind of comprehend what people out here doing with kids of all things. I see kids as, you know, a joy to a family. I see kids as, you know, a sense of peace with everything that goes on in the world with work and stuff like that. You know, I've told people all the time that it don't matter how hard of a day I have. It don't matter if people yell at me, spit at me. You know, you can sit there and total my car, take everything away from me. Coming home to see my wife and kid, you know, my son smile, that makes my day better.
Preach.
You know, so to hear about a father violate any child, let alone his own daughter, it kind of makes me wonder. It's like, what's going on through your head that, one, you have to do this, and 2, you have to do it to a child, your own child of all things.
And keep in mind the man was married. Keep in mind the man was married. His wife was living in the home
right.
too.
That's my thing too. It's like it shouldn't even matter if you're married or not. It's like it's your
Right.
child, or it's a child nonetheless. You know, it's not an
Right.
adult, but it's a child who can't defend themselves, who can't fend for themselves, who thinks that this is okay because we as parents, we're teachers to our kids. You know, we're supposed to teach them, you know, what they don't know. And for a father to do this to his own daughter, it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's okay to do this. Don't worry about it. You know, so me, that right there, it's heartbreaking. It's troublesome. It, you know, it's frustrating to hear that people actually are out here doing this. And it's something honestly that I hope to teach my kids, that it's not right. It's not something you do. You know, you don't take something by force just because you want it, and you don't do this to a child. You don't traumatize a child because you want to.
I agree. Bronze. I hope it's okay to ask you, being not a father, but you've heard the situation, and I know you know me. We've talked on this type of subject on many different things, for your show and my show as well. But I want to know personally. I want to know the Bronze. I want to know what are your first. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, guys, I don't want to seem like the person that takes over the show and have the most trauma, but it's me. It's me. The same person, same exact person that almost killed my sister, molested me from the age of 5 to 10. Tried to come after me again at 11. He is now classified today as a pedophile. He has about 14 children. But I want to tell you, I don't have any biological children, but my husband has a 4-year-old. And the first time I gave her a bath, she's looking at my face, and I pointed to these and this and said, nobody is to touch that. And if they do, you let daddy, or you let Miss Angwin. She calls him Miss Angwin. Let us know. Because I'm gonna tell you something, people. When you're touched by a grown man, and I'm trying to be like Lorenzo, trying to be uncensored. When I ran into this person years later, I just wanted to take his dick off and put it in his hands because he messed me up.
Right.
My second and my last marriage. My first marriage, I was literally traumatized to let my husband get on top of me because of what I used to go through as a child. This is exactly what I'm going to actually write a book around my life story based around the trauma that people go through. I'm not trying to take your show over. When you're physically touched, these guys are saying with their children, I'm a victim.
You're from the other side. You're from the little girl's perspective.
Better believe it. That mess hurts.
Yeah.
So to hear that a father would do it to their own seed, a recent conversation, you don't have to rape or touch somebody unintentionally when people are just give it up to you. Why do you go inside and take an innocent child's body? Are you crazy?
Exactly.
Because it messes up your mind and you're messed up.
Exactly.
It messed up my marriage.
So we're gonna. I hate to cut you. I hate to cut you off, Bronze, but we do have time limit on the show, and I do want to ask the panel one last question before we head out. Before I ask that question, Bronze, let's go ahead and let's get your closing statements. What do you need the audience to know?
I want the audience to know that this may be Halloween, it may be October, and we're dealing with monsters. There's a monster inside of each one of us. Deal with that monster yourself on a personal level and not try to put it on other people. Because I think that's basically what goes on. A lot of people are dealing with their own inner monster, and then they allow others to have to struggle, or how can I say this? Others get hurt behind something that you should have already dealt with.
Agreed. I agree with that. Rizo, what do you need people to know, sir?
Man, I just want everybody to stay safe out there, man. Stay around positivity. Positivity is key, man. Just be around positive people, and all the negativity, man, just push that out the window and have a safe holiday, man. That's it. Have a safe holiday.
G, go ahead. Give them to the people what you need them to know, man.
Not everybody's trauma is the same. What you may be going through may not be the same as someone else is going through. And if someone is going to open up to you about their trauma, be the ear that they want you to be. Don't be the person to just switch it up about you. If you're going to be a friend, be a friend. Period.
I like that. If you're gonna be a friend, be a goddamn friend. Don't make it all about you. I like that. I like that. So we're gonna end this with one last question. So the question is, do you think that you personally have met a monster?
Yeah. Do I got to tell you who?
I mean, no, you don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out.
I definitely have. I've definitely seen, and I've definitely been around. I mean, I spent some time behind a box before, so I've seen some monsters. So definitely seen. It. Yeah.
G.
Yeah, I can honestly say I have. I've seen monsters that, in a sense, are two-faced about it. That they're one way one day, next day there's totally completely different, and you start to wonder, it's like, wait, what happened to the person I met yesterday? So yeah, right. I can say I've met a couple monsters. They just don't want to meet mine.
I get that. Miss Bronze, it's your turn.
Workplace monsters.
Ooh.
That's the answer to your question. Workplace monsters.
Workplace monsters.
Yeah.
Well, for me, yes, I have met monsters. I have battled my own monsters still to this day. And I have dated so many monsters that it's hard to even look at women the same. So but we're gonna end the show with that, and I appreciate you all coming out. This is the October special, the first edition out of 3. We have Rizo in the house, we have Miss Bronze Beauty, and we have G in the house. This is Illuminated Mind. Remember, every Thursday you can come right here, check me out 8 o'clock p.m. with a replay at 9 o'clock every Thursday night right here on GKI Radio. Thank you guys for coming out. Went over my time a little bit, but that's all right. It was a great show. Thank y'all for coming out, and I hope y'all come out again. Good night.
All right.
Anytime.
Peace.
Yeah, have a good
one.
All right, Bronze. All right, G. Aries. All right, bro.
Nice to meet you.
All right, later, man.
Yeah.
Nice meeting y'all as well.
Yo.
This has been Illuminated Mind with Aries Child. Join us next week for a fresh episode.